Bokdo is Our Land. It's kind of like a childhood song that everyone knows if you're... Hello everyone! From dramas to webtoons to novels, explore Korea's story with us. This is Who Reads Story. My name is An Sung-jin and I'm a reporter, and today we have a guest with us. Welcome back.
Hi, well, it's a pleasure to be here. My name is Andrea.
Okay, so Andrea, today we're going to be talking about a movie that's fairly well known. It's called Parasite by director Bong Joon-ho. And recently this has been resurfaced because the New York Times has selected it as the top of the 100 best movies of the 21st century. Now this list has been compiled by 500 critics and 200,000 readers. Well, to briefly talk about the plot for our viewers who might have not watched it yet, the movie actually itself talks about this unemployed family, the Kim family, living in a semi-basement, and they kind of infiltrate their lives into this wealthy family. And the story itself evolves around how these two families are kind of intertwined and eventually reach a tragedy, I must say. Hopefully that's not too much of a spoiler, but that's kind of how the story revolves, right?
Yeah, and also we can see some things related with another movie like from the same director, Snowpiercer, that it was released in 2013. And in this one, he also plays like with the spaces. He also plays like with this idea in the storyline, like the division of space. Division somehow also of classes. And then like in Parasite, we can totally see that.
Right.
Like with the two families, so we see this wealthy house and then we see this place in which the family king is living, and it's a huge difference.
You can see the difference, right.
And the architecture also plays like a really important role. And I think that it's not just the architecture, but just, I don't really know about movies. I took a class about that, but like, I remember also kind of the angles of the camera. So the angles of the camera play also a role, like in like the spectator to see some specific parts of the houses, some specific parts of the space. So I think that that thing was really well done in that sense, like to play with the division of these houses and the space.
Today in our episode, we're going to try to dive into a lot of the components that may be only confined to Koreans that maybe our international viewers might have missed out on. So shall we get into more of the details?
Yeah, actually remember a scene in which like the child of this rich family,
The wealthy family.
He wanted like to eat something similar to ramen, but it was not ramen. And then the housekeeper just prepared it. But like in the English titles, they said ramdong. And then I was like, okay, it's not the normal ramen, it's another kind. I was like, spaghetti, is that the same? Well, so what was that? And why they call it ramdong?
Right, that's an interesting point. I do wonder why they called it ramdon. I feel like it's a combination of like ramen and udon. But good point, because in Korea we call it japaguri. It's, as you say, a mixture of two different ramens. One's a spicy one, and one's more of like a black bean paste ramen. And that component itself, that food, was actually used in the movie to talk about the difference in class as well, because the way the wealthy family actually makes it, they add like the special kind of like expensive meat on it and make it really special, whereas for the original unemployed Kim family, it's just more of like a snack, like a daily easy convenient snack, which is why it's impressive that you actually pointed it out.
Yeah, like this ordinary somehow like food became luxurious.
Right.
Because they put beef.
Exactly.
And here beef is really expensive.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it was like, okay, it's a specific, like to have this kind of top.
And it adds that luxury that the unemployed Kim family can't afford. By adding that beef, as you say, it makes that dish stand out a bit more. It makes it a little bit more special.
There was another thing. I don't know if maybe you recognize this.
Oh, of course. Of course, it's a song that we can't forget about, right?
Yeah, because like for me it was really catchy, like kind of the human. I was like, it looks really catchy, but why? There is like something behind of like this song. Do you know something about it?
Good point. I feel like that is also something that perhaps a lot of Koreans might only know, because the song is actually based on a melody from Dokdo is Our Land. It's kind of like a childhood song that everyone knows if you're Korean. It's the 4x4 rhythm, and it's a very easy melody, as you might have realized. That
It's really
kind of
catchy.
catchy, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's interesting because they use that melody on their way to kind of commit fraud.
Yeah.
They're trying to memorize what they're going to be lying about, and they're like, okay, we're going to memorize it in an easy way. And I feel like that's why they bring in a song that's so catchy and so commonly known by Koreans. And because the song is so catchy, I feel like even the global viewers or the global audience will kind of try to remember it, or like it'll come every then and now because it's so catchy. And also, apart from this melody that comes out throughout the movie, in the beginning of the movie, we also see a fumigation truck, which kind of used to be common back in Korea. You know, the unemployed family that lives in the semi-basement has their window open and the truck passes by and they're like, oh, you know, might as well get some, what do you say? I guess it's preventing contamination. Might as well. We should also try to breathe in the air as it comes by. Yeah, it's actually interesting on how the director really incorporated that scene, because the truck, back in the 90s, it was really common to see it during the summer. You'd have trucks go around small towns or villages to prevent any contamination. But nowadays, it's not as common. And I guess the reason why I mentioned it's kind of unfortunate and funny at the same time is because if you think about it, no one wants to directly breathe in from the fumigation truck, but the fact that this Kim family actually welcomed it was sad, also funny. It brings out these double emotions about the situation itself.
I think like this scene was like really powerful because it's showing us kind of this diversity of situations that people can face. And I think that maybe also we can see this later when the semi-basement, like there is raining a lot, like these days, and then like they have a lot of water inside, and they just need like to leave the place. So like with these scenes, they are showing like through the movie how like a lot of people like living in these spaces, they are facing situations that they shouldn't, that it shouldn't be like that, and then that it even is dangerous, like to live in these spaces.
So all the small details that we talked about, whether it be the tapaguri, the fumigation truck, or the Jessica song, they all sort of reflect these small details that might be only confined to Koreans, but now they've reached a global audience. They've reached a wider viewer range because so many people have been now absorbed with this type of culture. And what's interesting is that after director Bong won the Oscars, he said that, you know, if we've changed the structure of the house or how we show it in the movie, we could have easily filmed this film in Brazil or India, which is, I guess it's interesting. He's saying that it's not about the location, it's more about how you portray it, how you portray the scene, or how you put all these different individual items or components to create the message that he wants to really deliver.
So I think that somehow it's portraying just life. Somehow it's portraying like in life we have like these funny moments, but these sad moments too. These moments in which like, okay, if we don't have a job, if we need like to do something, if we need like to take care of the family. And I think that was the thing. They are talking about like this family, Kim, and then somehow it can be representing like other families. Like they are not talking about, I don't know, a magician, dinosaurs, I don't know, like things that are like fictional and just fantastic. They are talking about life. And like somehow with these characters, you can say, oh, I'm similar to this one, or I like this, or wow, I know someone that is like that.
This is all we have for Who Reads Story. I had Andrea again with us. It was a great conversation, great discussion. And this is all we have for Who Reads Story. Don't forget to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe to our channel. I'll be back next week with a new episode for Who Reads Story. Thank you for watching. Bye!
Bye!